Hello, my name is Jessica Pierce, and today I'll be presenting on how to make one of my favorite breads. Baking and bread making are two of the hobbies that I really enjoy on a day off. I started baking because it decreases stress, and it's an affordable form of therapy. The first step in the process is finding a recipe. You can use your favorite search engine and find thousands of challah recipes. The recipes will have some small differences, so it's very important to pay attention to the procedures, ingredients, and the types of bread design that you want to make. This is the recipe that I use. The ingredients are simple, they're easy to find, and are all items that I would typically keep in my cabinet. Two details to note are that the bread must rise twice during the process, and the design is a 4-braid loaf. The design is important because there are many different shapes and it can be difficult. Once you've chosen the recipe, make sure you have all the tools and ingredients you need. If not, make a quick trip to the grocery store. Make sure to place everything in an easy to reach spot and place your recipe where it is easily seen while baking. I hang mine from the counter. Once you've done that, stop. I want you to take 5 minutes and read the recipe directions at least 2 more times to help ensure that you won't miss any steps during baking. There are a lot of steps to this process, and if you miss one, you might have to start over. You have your recipe, your ingredients and tools, and you've read your recipe multiple times. Now I think it's time to get started. But don't worry, Paul Hollywood and Mary Berry will not be judging your bakes today. So let's go. Ready, set, bake. Go ahead and preheat your oven to 350 degrees. The warm stovetop will come in handy during the process. Make sure you have a large, clean surface to work on, and be aware that it's probably going to get messy. Flour seems to have the ability to get everywhere. Pour warm water into a large mixing bowl. Add the honey and yeast and whisk until the honey dissolves. Sit the bowl in the middle of the stovetop for about 15 minutes. It should form a creamy top layer. Then you're going to add the salt, olive oil, and egg and whisk until combined. You'll then add the flour, a half cup at a time, mixing with a spatula after you make each addition. You're going to mix until the dough is tacky but not sticky wet. If the dough is too wet or too dry, it can cause issues. So now comes the fun part. Flour your work surface and turn the dough out of the bowl. Using your hands, knead the dough for at least 10 minutes. Don't skimp on the time, go the full 10. It will give you a smooth, elastic ball of dough. There's no secret to kneading dough other than to put some muscle into it. Oil the inside of a clean, large bowl and place the dough in it. Roll the dough around so it's coated with oil. Place the bowl in the center of the warm stovetop and let it sit for 90 minutes. It should double in size. Walk away and enjoy a few chapters of a book and a cup of coffee. Once the dough is risen, return the bowl to your work surface. Uncover the dough and punch it down. Yes, literally punch it. Turn the dough onto the floured surface and divide it into 4 equal balls. With this dough, you could do 3 balls for a larger braided loaf. Sit the 3 of the dough balls to the side and take the remaining piece and use a rolling pin to roll it flat until it's about 14 inches long. You're going to turn the dough so the long side is facing you. Starting with the edge closest to you, you're going to roll the dough into a rope. Line the ropes next to each other and pinch the top of the 4 ropes together so they make a fan. You're going to begin with the rope on the far left and bring it over the 2 middle ropes and under the last rope. You're going to repeat this process until you reach the end of the dough and then tuck in the ends so they stay together. If you did not braid your loaf on a pan, carefully transfer your loaf to the baking pan. Place the pan in the center of the warm stove top. Again, step away. Let the dough rise for another hour. Go back to the book, get a workout in, or watch the game on TV. Your hour's up. It's okay if you enjoyed relaxing so much you took a little longer than an hour. Make your egg wash by whisking the milk, egg white, olive oil, and sugar together in a small bowl and then brush it onto the loaf. Put your loaf in the oven and bake until golden brown or about 30 minutes. There you have it, a beautiful loaf of bread to enjoy with something yummy. I typically like to have mine with soup or pot roast. Relax and enjoy your dinner. This whole process is about taking time for yourself and having something wonderful to enjoy at the end or to give to a friend. Just a few tips and tricks to mention. Keeping the oven on gives you a great place to let yeast form and dough rise. You need to be sure to use the specific flour mentioned in the recipe. I've tried several others and it was always a disaster. Finally, remember making a 3-strand loaf is great for beginners. Thank you for joining me and learning to make challah. I hope you try it the next time you need to de-stress and relax, or if you just want something yummy to eat. And remember, your bread doesn't have to be perfect. You're always going to be the star baker in your home.